lovely and darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy. Cleveland Comic Con was March 6th through the 8th, so that just happened. And so my brain is stuck on comics right now. So I thought I would do a list of my top 10 favorite comic book series that I have read so far, up to, March of 2020. Good ones. So I just picked my 10 favorite. I kind of skewed it towards ones that I own. So if I liked it enough to go buy it, that was part of the factors, but I also looked at my Goodreads rating, what did I give 5 stars to, and just generally what did I overall, when I saw that name, think about it, as how I came up with this list. First up, I have Superman Secret Identity. I think I actually gave this 4 stars officially, but I love Superman, and I love this take on it because it's not Clark Kent, at least not the Clark Kent from Krypton that we are used to. This takes place in a alternate reality. It could actually be our own world. This is a world where the Superman comics exist, and this kid was born in Kansas to the Kent family, and they named him Clark Kent as an homage to Superman. And first he grows up kind of rolling his eyes and okay, the Superman thing's overplayed, until he starts developing superpowers in his teens, and then he decides to actually take on the mantle of Superman and be a real world Superman. And it takes place throughout his life, so we kind of catch up with him as he's starting his career, as he's getting married, and then later as he's getting retirement age. So I love seeing all of that. It's an interesting art style too. But I really love kind of what does it mean to be Superman that it played with. So highly recommend Secret Identity. One that I didn't buy but totally gave 5 stars was the Jughead comics from Archie. These are the new ones, and I just love the lightness of Jughead. He's also asexual in the comics, which I appreciate. It's a different aspect of him. He's not running around trying to get dates. He's not obsessing over relationships like Archie, Betty, and Veronica are, but he's kind of doing his own thing. He's also obsessed with food. I love the way that he daydreams, and just everything about Jughead is just amazing. I'm going to post the writers and years down in the description below because my notes are just literally the titles. I also have the Black Widow comics. This particular version by Nathan Edmondson. So besides Black Widow being a really amazing superhero, I also really like the art style in these comics, which is more like a painting kind of style to it, which I loved. And yet she's still the kick-ass superhero who's running around saving the day, but maybe has a bit of a darker edge to her too. So I enjoyed these. I also haven't read them in a while, so the specifics are foggy in my brain. So I really enjoyed the Rocko's Modern Afterlife comics. So if you've watched Rocko's Modern Life, the 90s cartoon, this is set in that world in O-Town. It's been modernized a bit to the 2010s, but it still feels like it's Rocko and these characters. In a way, it kind of feels like they were always these millennials the entire time. This involves Rocko and his friends dealing with the zombie apocalypse attacking their town. I love it. I love the fact that the zombie apocalypse is happening around them, and Heifer is live streaming video games and having people send him pizzas via drone, that kind of updating. But it also feels like that was Heifer all along. It's so funny. It's a little bit dark, but not too creepy for zombies. I also have Amy Unbounded, Belonged Wing Blossoming by Rachel Hartman. These take place in the same universe as the Serafina comics. Our Serafina novel, so the dragons, follows a young girl of Amy. She's about 10 to 12 maybe. She's about to hit puberty, and it's just kind of dealing with life changes, but it's in this medieval world, and it's so cute. It's so fun. They're microcomics, and it's just black and white pencil drawings, but it's also just so adorable. So really love these. If you can find Amy Unbounded, I highly recommend. It is an older comic, and I found them online, but also it's gone up in price because there aren't that many of them. I also have the Dirk Gently comics from IDW. I love Dirk Gently. So he's a holistic detective agent. So he tries to solve a crime by looking at everything that's happening around them, even pursuing strands that maybe don't look like they were connected. Maybe he'll start off solving 5 different cases, and in the end they're all connected in just one. He also has an affinity for cats, which I appreciate as a cat person myself. And it's just quirky and funny. The original novels are by Douglas Adams, who brought us Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, so you know that they are really funny. They do a good job of keeping that sense of humor in the comics. And then they went and made another TV show based off of these comics in particular, so they're awesome. I'm really sad that there's only like a few, I think there were 2 seasons of this comic, 2 series. We need more. But I highly appreciated these, so do recommend. So up to 4 now, and I have the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series, just all of it. There's like 80 plus comics at this point. And some of them are really, really good and like 5 stars totally, like this one, issue 72, about Applejack's family, and she and her siblings they find their mom's pie recipe and are trying to figure out what this missing secret ingredient is by going around and talking to the other people in the town about their mom, which I loved. And then some of them, like the story arc where they go on a pirate ship, didn't really feel like these characters and weren't that interesting. So, averaging them out, this ended up 4th on my list. And there's tons of different writers and artists on this series over time, but like consistently these amuse me, and they're light and they're fun and like a breather. I love the My Little Pony comics, and yet they're still full of heart and humor, and I love it. And then at number 3 I have Love and Capes by Thom Zahler. I actually really love this comic book series, but I knocked it down a few notches because I don't own them. It was one of those series that I didn't love enough to go buy yet. It's on my like I'm gonna buy it eventually list. I think they're IDW comics, but it tells the story of a superhero named Crusader who has powers similar to Superman, like the super strength, being able to fly, but it focuses on his not being a superhero life. So as he's dating this girl and then marries her, and they start a family, and dealing with how the superhero aspects impact his normal life. I also really love his girlfriend, Abby, who owns a bookstore, and tons of nerdy things are happening there. And then he has tons of other friends who are also superheroes, and they pop in and stuff. And also the artist Thom Zahler is from Westlake, Ohio, so not far from Cleveland, so there are references to like Northeast Ohio and things that are like, I get that living here, so I appreciate those comics a lot. They're also kind of light and have good heart to them, although there are definitely some darker things happening, and sometimes the superhero does bleed into his normal life, especially as we get deeper into these comics and Abby becomes a bigger part of his being a superhero also. Like, as she's a bigger part of his life. Not being a superhero, she also becomes, like, they blend together more as we get later. So, loving Cape. My number 2 pick is the Hawkeye comics. These are the ones with writing by Matt Fraction, and I love the art style in these to no end. So this one follows Clint Barton, who is Hawkeye. He's got his dog, and then there's Kate Bishop in here, who is also Hawkeye. And I love the interactions between them. They're doing, like, crime solving and stuff. I love, like, the daily interactions between them, like the normal, just solving crimes and stuff. But I also I love this writing style and the art and everything about him. There's a couple of standout issues in here. One that's told entirely from the dog's perspective. And another one where Clint completely loses his hearing and is having to read lips. Like, he already has bad hearing, but goes to the point where he's communicating in sign language with his brother and everything. So I appreciated those 2 issues in particular. But, like, the whole series. I had to go and buy all of them because this one's so amazing. So my all-time favorite one is Loki, Agent of Asgard. I love Loki. He's my favorite comic book character. He's got, like, you never know what he's gonna do. This is him trying to be good, and his mother sends him on these missions, kind of like secret agent missions to, like, bring back wayward Asgardians. But my favorite part is just following Loki, because he combines in, like, aspects that you wouldn't expect a superhero to do, because he's not always good. So he delves into darker things and, like, rearranges things and, like, can do things that the Hulk can't, or other characters. Just saw the Hulk. And I love this whole series, just, like, exploring who Loki is. Like, the big villain for the entire series, spoiler alert, is Loki. Like, nobody else can possibly measure up to Loki and meet his own intelligence. Like, nobody else is a match for Loki except himself. And I love just exploring him and just, like, having Loki save the day also and be the good guy was fantastic. So those are my picks for my top 10 favorite comic book series. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of any of these. I will post links to all of them because I'm fairly certain I've reviewed all of these. Should check out the more in-depth reviews. But yeah, these are the favorites. So peace out. I love you guys and keep reading. Bye!